What's up, guys, and welcome to another Trailblazer video. Today we're actually going to be highlighting a bunch of different methods you can use in Trailblazer to use your cash. Hopefully you guys saw the last video and you were able to use one of those methods to make yourself a solid cash stack. And in this episode today, we are going to showcase plenty of different methods in order for you to actually effectively and efficiently burn it. But if you guys did not see the last video, it will be linked down in the description below. And that video showcased the best moneymaker within each region in Trailblazer. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the first method. Okay, the first method we are showcasing on how you can use your money is actually battle stabs here at Zaf's store in Varrock. If you head over into this corner, after completing the easy Varrock diaries, you have the ability to claim 15 battle stabs for a discounted price of 7k each for a total of 105k, and you can do this once every single day. Although if you have completed the elite Varrock diaries, you would have the ability to claim 120 at 7k each, which would be 840k GP each day. And not only is this a great way to spend cash, but this is also a great way to make money, because once you buy these battle stabs, not only will it be great crafting XP to attach the orbs, you can then in turn AUK them for 9.3k each, turning a massive profit. This is a very common way Iron Man used their cash in the main game, and it is not changed here in Trailblazer. And this method is especially useful if you actually have a big cash stack right now and you're not really sure what to use it on. Just start stocking up some battle stabs for the future. Therefore, you're maximizing your potential with the daily ones you can collect. But apart from collecting these discounted battle stabs, you can also buy battle stabs from two different stores, I believe, in Old School. One of which is Baba Yaga, which requires Fremennik, and the other one is the Wizards Guild in Yanil, which would require Kandarin. Now, the next method we have is buying runes, and you can do this at plenty of different stores around Runescape. And it sounds incredibly simple, but it's a little more intricate. That's because you can either buy runes to train, like Chaos runes, or Mind runes to splash even. But depending on the rune store, you can even have access to Nature runes to AUK, or Blood runes, or I believe even some of the rune stores have soul runes, opening up the possibility to even burst or barrage for XP if you did unlock the desert. But apart from that, there's even charging tridents, which cost 1 death rune and chaos rune per, plus 25 GP. And with how quickly you'll blow through cast if you don't have the mage relic, that would be incredibly expensive. All around, buying runes or just magic in general is an incredibly good use of cash, but that's not even one of the key aspects of buying runes that we're going to talk about, and that is, say for example, we buy chaos runes. We can then in turn sell them over in the Tazar area for Toggle, which could then be used for an Onyx, which is one of the most common uses of buying runes in this league, and as an Iron Man in general. And I know the most common rune used in terms of purchasing Onyx is Chaos runes, which start at a basic price of 90. And depending on whether you want to buy, I think it's like 30,000 Chaos runes. If you do use the Karamja gloves, is how many you'll need. And if you do want to buy 50, close the store as it restocks, and then purchase for the absolute cheapest price you can get them. I don't know exactly how much that'll come out to, but I know on average, each individual Onyx you purchase will be around 3 to 4 mil cash. And depending on how many different Zenyte jewelries or just Onyx jewelry pieces in general you're going to use, that can add up to a lot of GP and can be a great way to use all the GP you have stored up throughout the league, depending on what jewelry you want and have access to. Quickly before we move on, I actually did want to mention, in addition to using the runes to buy an Onyx, you can actually use the runes to buy each of these weapons in here at this weapon store, literally right beside the gym place. And normally this wouldn't be as beneficial, but in this league, equipping, I believe 4 or 5 of these items is a 100 point task each. I know the cape is, the Ket Ohm, the shield, the sword, all of those are 100 point tasks, and I think there's even one more because I think there's 5 total. And I did want to quickly mention that because I forgot to mention it in the last clip. The next method we have is construction in general, or even more specifically, making planks. And even with accelerated rates in this league, construction is still going to be an incredibly expensive skill to train all the way up, considering one mahogany plank costs 1,500 GP. Tailoring it down, teak's 500, oak's 250, and regular wood is still 100 GP from just turning one individual log into one plank. For example, if we did one entire inventory of 27 mahogany logs into planks, each specific inventory would take 40k GP. And I know construction is going to be ungodly fast, but even if you're going for 99 or 25 mil, you're going to need a few thousand planks. But along with buying planks, construction in general can cost a few stacks of cash as well. For example, there are plenty of rooms that are quite pricey. I know one of which is incredibly useful is going to be the Superior Garden, and that comes in at 75k. A throne room is 150k. A Portal Nexus is 200. Treasure Room 250. Achievement Gallery is 200k, and I believe building that is actually a task in this league as well. So that's 200k you'll probably want to use if you do end up getting 80 construction. Not to mention, depending on the areas you unlocked, building a gilded altar using the marble blocks or the gold leaves if you do have the Fremennik area. I know marble blocks are 325k each. Gold leaves are 130k every single time you have to buy one. Those prices do not change. So that is a required amount of money you have to spend if you want to build the altars or the spellbook altars. Obviously, those depend greatly on the areas you unlock, whether you can even use them efficiently or not. And then construction obviously has the greatest money sink in all of Trailblazer League, and that is in the achievement gallery. If you're just absolutely sitting on mad stacks of cash and you don't know what to do with yourself, there is an item you can build that will cost you 100 million GP. You will never get it back, but you can always look at it for the remaining 1 month of your league. We have a few methods left in this video, but for the final method that everybody has access to, that is buying broad arrow tips or bolt tips. More specifically, arrowheads, I believe, are the best in terms of fletching XP. And I know these are a great way to train your fletching, and they're always guaranteed to be here in stock. That is one thing that's incredibly useful about this method. And with my current level and current XP multiplier from 68 fletching, if I wanted to go all the way up to 99, it would require me to make 105,000 broad arrows. And if I wanted to buy each head at 55 GP, that would cost me almost 6 mil GP. So if you have a little bit of extra cash lying around and you did unlock broader fletching from a Slayer Master, this could be a great way to gain some XP on the side, because I know you can always leave them in your inventory and just click them a few times as you run throughout the game. And as I mentioned, absolutely everybody has access to this store. These arrowheads are within every single Slayer Master store, and there is a Slayer Master within each region of Trailblazer. Now, our first method that is region locked is Nightmare Zone imbuing, and this is locked behind Kandarin, but depending on which areas you've chosen, this can either be a method that needs a lot of cash or very little. And that's because depending on the regions you've chose, you have a set number of imbues that you can ultimately unlock. For example, let's just say you only have Kandarin unlocked. You automatically, along with the imbue area, you unlock Zenites, which would be the suffering that you already have access to imbuing. And the reason this is a money sink is because in Trailblazer League, you actually do not have access to doing Nightmare Zone. But if you speak to this guy through a couple text phrases, this pops up. How many Nightmare Zone points would you like? And it shows my cash stack right here. And if I wanted to spend all of my cash stack, I would then receive 269,000 points in return. Therefore, depending on which items you need to imbue, this can actually cost a good chunk of money. For example, I have Mauritania unlocked, meaning I have access to the Black Mask and in turn the Slayer Helm, and I do have mine imbued, which cost me a whopping 1.25 mil. But apart from that, I'll also have access to imbuing the Suffering in the future. If you unlocked Prif, you have the Crystal Weaponry you can imbue. If you unlock the Wilderness, you have all of the Wildy Rings. If you unlock Fremennik, you have all of the DK Rings. There's also the Salve Amulet, and I'm sure I'm even missing a few. But if you do have Kandarin unlocked, there are plenty of different items that you could potentially imbue that could require a good chunk of cash. Now, the final method we are going to showcase in this video is Throne of Miscellanea, and this is locked behind the Fremennik region. And if you do decide to go ahead and use this method, you will also want to complete the Royal Trouble quest, because it has some implications that greatly benefit how the Throne of Miscellanea uses your cash. But with that, I can't exactly pull up the menu because I am a complete noob and don't have the quest completed. But how it works is you have the ability to deposit upwards of 5 to 7.5 mil cash, depending on whether you have Royal Trouble completed or not. And as a bare minimum, you will want to at least put 500k or 750k in there to have the maximum potential. But once you deposit the cash, you will then be able to turn that cash into resources basically passively. And you can either turn it on fish, wood, mining, hardwood, which gives you logs like mahogany or teaks. You can turn it on farming for seeds or herbs. Honestly, herbs are probably going to be a very good shout in this league considering we are Iron Man. But regardless, any type of resource that you're going to be gaining passively will ultimately be of great benefit to you. And if you do have a big chunk of cash sitting around and you do have Fremennik unlocked and you don't know what to do with it, just go ahead and chuck it in your miscellanea coffer. Therefore, over time, you'll be gaining resources without having to do any additional effort with it. But that is the final method of this video. We also do have one honorable mention, and that method is the blast furnace, which is an incredibly useful area if you do have Fremennik unlocked. This is by far your best place to train your smithing. But the reason it is an honorable mention is because I know you have to deposit cash in order to use the blast mine, but it is on a time basis. And ultimately, I just don't know how much cash you will end up using with the accelerated rates in this league. But nonetheless, this will be a little bit of a cash sink depending on how much smithing XP you are going to gain in this area if you do have Fremennik. But with that, that is all of the methods we are going to showcase in this video. That is by no means all of the methods that you can use your money on within this league, but this is a very good chunk of them that are incredibly useful and can be a great way for you to use your cash tag effectively in this league. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for the support. Go ahead and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful. It massively helps out the channel. And subscribe if you have not already. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.